It's an honor that I am standing in front of all of you. I would like to thank the university for giving me this opportunity for speaking to you. Sri Rajendranagar, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Sudhir Kumar Garu, the Registrar of the University, and all the past Vice Chancellors, past Deans, present Deans who are all sitting here, and all the faculty members, the students of the University. First of all, congratulations to all of you for having completed 8 years of journey. We are also very close to you. IIT Hyderabad started in 2008. We just completed about 14 years now. So more or less we are all of the same generation. And I've been hearing that in these 8 years you have done so well that a large number of colleges have been started under this particular university, and about 8,000 students are there, is what I heard from your team a few minutes back, which is really wonderful. So we are just half of you in terms of our size. We are about 4,000 students. Of course, the difference is we are just one single campus university, if you can call it as, whereas you have a number of campuses which come under your university. But what is important is this particular field. I usually call, I think probably this term is also regularly used, the green warriors. So you are all the so-called green warriors. And very, very important, I would say, after teachers and after medical doctors, if there is anybody else who has to be given importance, it is the farmers. And anybody working for the farmers. Because ultimately you can't survive without food. Okay? It is these farmers who give you food. So as a result, if you ask a young gentleman, a young kid, you ask where do you get food, he will say probably from a restaurant or from a supermarket. But he or she does not know how much of effort goes in before that comes to the supermarket, or that comes to the restaurant, or that comes to the kitchen of your home. Okay? And all that, the technology that is needed for making India progress significantly, and not only progress significantly, become a self-sufficient in our food requirements, and also started becoming an exporter of food products to the whole world. All this has happened by people like all of you. Okay? An enormous amount of research that has gone in from all the agricultural universities in the country, and particularly for this particular state, this university has been contributing significantly in that developing newer technologies, developing better productivity, better crops, and newer. For example, today morning I had a biscuit from your team, and which is made of millets, and I heard that those biscuits are made by the technology developed by you. I was so thrilled, I was so happy when I was having that biscuit. So this really is the way an institute should grow. And I'm able to see that kind of a growth that is happening. And I'm also very pleased that we have been able to contribute a little bit through a collaboration that we already have. That in the area of agriculture technology, we have been contributing to some extent through what is called the drone technology that IIT Hyderabad has been very popular with, and also various other AI-based technologies. Many of you possibly know IIT Hyderabad is very unique in the sense we were the first to start a BTech program in AI in the whole country. There is no other institute. 2019, when we started the BTech program in AI, Artificial Intelligence, we were told that we were number 3 in the whole world. Other than MIT and Carnegie Mellon University, there is no other university which had a BTech UG program in AI. So we have a UG program, we have a PG program, we have a PhD program. We have 30 faculty members working in the area of AI. So that tells you, and AI is everywhere now. it's like an omnipresent God now. That you need it in agriculture, you need it in aerospace, you need it everywhere else. So that's an area where definitely our team has been collaborating with your people. I'm very glad about that. In addition, you all know the way the drones are contributing to the agriculture technologies, whether it is spraying of chemicals, spraying of insecticides, spraying of any other nutrients that are needed. Drones have been contributing significantly in that particular area. So IIT Hyderabad has been very active in this area. There is one lady, we always say in India, lady, the Shakti. So we have so many such Shaktis at IIT Hyderabad. One such lady is significantly responsible for the drone technology. Her name is Professor Rajalakshmi of Electrical Engineering. She is leading a big team, 135 crore project, one of the largest projects at IIT Hyderabad, which is working on what is called autonomous navigation. Okay, we have set up something called THON, Technology Innovation Hub on autonomous navigation, where she has been working a lot on not just drones per se, on any autonomous navigation. For example, we have tested autonomous vehicles on the road. We have created a test track, 2-kilometer test track on the campus, which can test any autonomous vehicle. What do I mean by autonomous vehicle? Their driverless car, for example. So if you come to IIT Hyderabad in about 2-3 months from now, you will see from the main gate up to the hostels, a vehicle will be carrying you without any driver. And you can safely sit in that and be able to travel 4 kilometers, which is the track that we have from main gate up to the hostels, almost 3 to 4 kilometers. So we have been testing that, and I have driven in that car a number of times. And I am hale and healthy now, as you can see in front of you. Okay, so that's an area where we are working on. Very recently, we have also tested what is called a passenger drone, 150 kilo, what is called payload capacity. So that is another recent development that has happened at IIT Hyderabad. Basically, keeping agriculture in mind, keeping also ideas such as an ambulance. Okay, you want to have an aerial ambulance. These things can act as aerial ambulances, and also in hilly regions where you want to carry some goods from the ground to the hill, or bring passenger, some kind of a sick person from a hilly region to the base region where you can have a bigger hospital, for example. All these kind of things can be useful. So all these are happening, and we are happy that we are able to collaborate with your university and bring out a lot of joint collaborative efforts to help the country grow. All of you are aware that India is talking a lot about Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar Bharat is one of the mottos that our Prime Minister Modi ji has given to all of us, and that's very crucial that for all of us in every aspect of technology, India should become not only self-sufficient and self-reliant, but also be a leader in the years to come. I also strongly believe that India has been a knowledge hub once upon a time. People from all over the world used to come to India and study in India. Many of you are aware of Nalanda, Takshashila, we all talk about it. And at IIT Hyderabad, we have started a number of activities in that direction. For example, we have started a Department of Heritage Science and Technology for information. We started an MTech in Heritage Science and Technology, where we are teaching people not only the language aspect. For example, what is the science behind yoga? Okay, we have been teaching, and what is the science behind the whole ancient architectures that have come. That's another specialization that this particular department is working on. We are also adding a few other specializations, such as the healthcare, Indian healthcare system. It's very well known, the Ayurveda and things like that. What is the science behind all these? So there is a lot that can be brought out. I myself have worked with some Sanskrit scholars some time back, where we used to make nanoparticles of various metals from some slokas which are written in some of these scriptures. And I strongly believe that there is so much in our ancient science that it is important for youngsters sitting in places like this to bring out those technologies and see how those technologies are relevant for today's day. In fact, we realize that the main bottleneck in that is the language itself, because most of these scriptures are written in Sanskrit and many of us do not speak that language anymore. So we have started 5 Sanskrit courses at IIT Hyderabad now. So where I told them that from the first course to the 5th course, by the time the student grows, he or she should be able to develop very strong grammar, that they should be able to open a scripture and read the scripture and understand the science behind it. And this is something that we have started, and large number of students are showing interest, and I am sure that when brilliant students who are sitting here and students who are at places like IIT Hyderabad get interested in such things, I am sure India one day will be once again having the glory of being a leader and giving not only the technologies but also the education to the rest of the world. We also started a new program which we call it as FIRST, Fellowship for International Research Scholars in Technology, we call it as FIRST, FIRST, where we say if somebody is a foreign passport holder and wants to do a PhD at IIT Hyderabad, we give them 60,000 rupees per month, which is close to double of the scholarship that we give to our own PhD students, so that we bring back brilliant students, but we put a very clear condition that they should have had at least a 8.5 CGPA in their BTech or MTech, whatever they have done, and should go through an interview process that we put it across and finally get selected. And we believe that there are so many European countries where there are very strong in maths and physics and chemistry, that kind of people are existing. It is important that India brings back such people, learn here, contribute together and see how we grow together. So I strongly believe that growth is possible only when we work together, and that is very essential, and we started a number of collaborative programs. In fact, last 2 years during the COVID, we sat down and looked at where are the places where we can grow into and what does the country really need. And we realized that most of us work in silos, very straight-jacketed, and we start that it is important, let's start working together and coming up with newer ways of either academic programs or research programs. So for example, with a hospital called AIG, Asian Institute of Gastroenterology, we started an MTech called MTech in Medical Device Innovation, where a student spends 4 months in the hospital and comes out and says these are the problems that the patients and doctors are facing, picks up one of those problems, and at the end of 2 years, the student has a prototype in hand. The whole thesis is a prototype. So this is working on very well. First batch has already come out of it, and we have every year at least about 15 students being taken into this. Some of them are medical doctors also. Okay, some of them are engineers, some of them are designers, and we say anybody is welcome, provided you have interest in healthcare. We have also started with L.V. Prasad Eye Institute an MTech program which we call it as ophthalmic engineering, MTech in ophthalmic engineering, where we take optometrists, we take engineers, we even take medical doctors, and finally they become technologists in the area in what is called eye care. For example, at IIT Hyderabad we are 3D printing cornea. Okay, so a lot of things can be done. So we are good at technology. How do we take the help of medical doctors and together come up with various good ideas? For example, this year we started another MSc program called Medical Physics with Basavatarakam Oncology Institute. Okay, where the student spends 1 year in Basavatarakam and finally becomes a radiologist. So like that we can do variety of things. With an institute called CMET, Center for Materials for Electronic Technologies, we have come up with an MTech in what we call it as e-waste management, There's so much of e-waste that India is, not just India, the whole world is generating. No student wants to use a mobile phone beyond 6 months or 1 year. Okay, so you see that so much on laptops. Every year, your son wants possibly a new laptop. So as a result, what do you do with what are these old laptops and things like that? And people actually say the amount of gold that is available in electronic waste is more than the gold that is available in the earth crust. So there is so much that one can retrieve metals out of these electronic waste. So we realized that these are all things that are needed for the country and started a number of collaborative programs, and we strongly believe that these collaborations will lead in a big way, people working together, coming together and contributing to the country in a big way. We also believed that education should be as free as possible. As free in the sense as flexible as possible. Unfortunately, the way at least we studied, when I studied my BTech and things like that, we are all very straightjacketed. Civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, metallurgical engineering and so on and so forth. Okay, world is not like that. Okay, in fact, it is we who draw lines and barriers in science. The whole nature does not draw any barriers. So there is no difference between chemistry and physics when you go to the atomic level. It's all the same. But we start dividing these into draw lines, and in the process of drawing lines, we have secluded ourselves to an extent that there is a lot of, I would say, synergy missing. We thought, let us bring this synergy back. For example, we have a BTech program at IIT Hyderabad, which we call it as engineering sciences. BTech in engineering sciences. Okay, the student can study anything that they want. And at the end of 2 years, first 2 years, we give them a chance. Do you want to specialize in mechanical engineering or you want to specialize in electrical or so? If you want to do that, we say you are a BTech in engineering sciences with specialization in mechanical engineering. Okay, the remaining 2 years, he or she will study mechanical. They say, I don't want to do all this. I just want to study everything that is available. Okay, and let me decide at the end of BTech what I want to become. Okay, we allow this too. I am very clear that in 5-10 years down the line, no industry will ask you whether you have passed a degree or not. They are going to ask you, do you have a skill or not? Okay, your skill matters. You may be a failure in a BTech program, it doesn't matter. For example, great people, Steve Jobs, okay, Apple, all of us know. So he is not passed out of a university and he does not have a BTech degree, but he rules the whole world. He has been, his company has been ruling the whole world. So that is the direction in which it's going to happen. So there is need for flexibility. For example, we have changed our whole curriculum to ensure that the departmental subjects are only 50 to 60%. We have 10% basic sciences, 10% basic engineering, and 50 to 60% is your departmental subject. Then about 10% which we call it as creative arts. Okay, we have courses on music, we have courses on dance, we have courses on Hyderabad history. We have even recently introduced a course. I went to Northeast. I found there is a cult there which works on what is called the face masks. So they make various scripts on basically in dramatics on our Indian mythology, and they make masks, and the mask preparation is a very wonderful whole process. So we now have a 1 credit course on mask making, okay, at IIT Hyderabad. So we have a 1 credit course on juggling, the ball game that you can think of. So we have variety of such opportunities, because I strongly believe a person should always cultivate both the left brain and the right brain together. Okay, it is very important that there is no time for them to even play. There is not even a football ground in most of these coaching centers, to be honest with you. Okay. And what do you get out of the whole thing? They come to IIT and unfortunately they become so depressed. Okay? And this is something that we have been observing. So it's important to ensure the students have grow the way they want to grow. We even have 10% of the courses which are called free electives. You pick up any course from anywhere you want. If possible, from any other university you want. Okay? So these are important, I strongly believe. So last 2 years we have been churning ourselves and starting to see how do we make our education more flexible. We even found that there are so many IITs which have a program called summer internship program. Okay? Most of you are aware of, probably you also have it. But then I realized that in 2 months, which is summer, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, neither you learn much from the industry where you are going, nor the industry gets significantly benefited out of you. So we try to introduce now at IIT Hyderabad, we have a program called a semester-long internship. Okay? So 6th semester of the BTech program, the student can go anywhere they want. Not only go anywhere they want, if they have a brilliant idea, they can take a semester break and stay at the institute and work on their idea. And we give 6 credits for it. Okay, it is not a simple credit-less internship. Most of the internships in summer internships in many institutions are all credit-less internships. You don't get any credit for it. You simply get some knowledge. But here, our semester-long internship, we give 6 credits. So that they come back, submit a small report, and we conduct a viva, we give a grade for that. And that gives a lot of exposure. So when you spend 6 months in an industry, 6 months in a university, whether within the country or abroad, you open up a lot. Your horizon widens a lot. And that is very important for a student. So these are opportunities that we need to provide. And I urge all of you to start thinking more. I mean, in universities, as universities, we have a lot of freedom. It's important that the freedom has to be used. If we don't use the freedom, there is no point in having a freedom. Okay? So this is something that we have introduced. We started how to connect to industry, because that is another major problem that I have seen. We always say industry-academia relations are not so strong. But who should break the ice? Somebody has to break the ice. So we keep on waiting for the industry to come to the academia. It doesn't happen all the time. Okay? So we started thinking, how do we do that? So one possibility is this semester-long internship. So the student goes and spends, we identified a number of industries and we keep writing to them, asking, we have a possibility like this, these are all brilliant students and I'm sure you will get benefited when they spend 6 months with you. Similarly, we started a course, 1 credit course called Industry Lectures, where any industry person can come and talk about what is exciting in their industry. For example, if we have a BTech in, let's say, materials engineering or metallurgical engineering, 1 credit course basically means about 14 hours of teaching. So we identified 14 in industries and asked the top brass of those universities to come and talk to us for 1 hour. And this is a mandatory course for all the students. Every student has to attend this course. There is no exam, but attendance is mandatory. So in the process, the student learns what is the real thing that is happening. Beyond the classroom lectures that you hear, the real picture, what is there out there. And at the end of it, we ask these industries, do you have any projects that our students, particularly master students, we have an MTech program where 1 full year is what is called a project. So we ask them, do you have any problems which our students can solve in 1 year? And we started connecting such problems and giving it to the students. Now I can confidently say that at least around 40 to 50% of all our MTech projects are industry-defined problems. Okay? And this is helping in a big way. Okay, so that I strongly believe, if you, as people say, nothing succeeds like success. Okay, you demonstrate a small success, solve a small problem of an industry will start running behind you. Okay, and this is important that we should try to find out ways by which we can do. I'm very keen that in the years to come, 70 to 80% of our projects, MTech projects at least, we would like to have more and more of industry-oriented projects so that the students actually solve industry problems and at the end of it, they will get absorbed more easily and also contribute to the technology development in the country. We also thought that there are so many people in this industry who must possibly have a BTech completed some time back, but they want to, upskill themselves. They want to get an MTech degree, but unfortunately, they cannot take leave. If an industry can give you 1 year leave, they can leave you forever. This is what I believe in. Okay, so how do we help them out? So can we reach out to them? So we started now 10 MTech programs, which we call them as online MTech programs. We tell these people that we teach you in the evening hours. You don't need to get disturbed during your working hours. So I teach a course, for example, every Tuesday and Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Okay, so we have an MTech program in metallurgy in which I teach one course. So we do this. And we teach them 4 to 8 on Saturdays and Sundays, and we tell them that you come to IIT Hyderabad only on the day of convocation to collect the degree certificate. And we also tell them it's a typically 2-year MTech. We say we give you 4 years time. You do it at your leisure. This semester you have a new product being launched in your company. I don't want to do any course. I am busy. Don't do any course. You have to complete the 48 credits. You have to complete it in a maximum of 4 years. We give you 4 years time. You complete it in 2 years, you get a degree in 2 years. You complete it in 2.5 years, you get a degree in 2.5 years. Whenever you complete it, you will get your degree. So this is something which is really helping a lot of industry people. There are, the number of applications that we get for these programs is enormous, that we have to really conduct written test interviews to shortlist people. Because we don't want to, ultimately it's a degree being given by IIT. We have to be very careful whom we are taking. And at the same time I say, we don't bother about what the background of it. If an electrical engineer wants to join my industrial metallurgy MTech program, okay, as long as he can write my exam and pass my exam, I have no problem. Okay? What is important is to control the exit rather than controlling the entry. Okay? If somebody has enthusiasm and passion to learn a subject, we should give an option to them. Okay? So this is something I think NEP talks about it, talking about how to provide freedom to students to choose what they want to do. Okay? I think that's the direction in which the world is going to move and India is going to move. And I'm sure with this kind of possibilities that there is a lot that we can provide options to the students and see how together as universities we can come together. There is always a possibility that your university and IIT Hyderabad jointly can offer MTech programs or any certificate program, PG diploma programs. After all, it is your Senate and our Senate. As long as Senates approve, nobody else's approvals are required. So this is something that I would like to urge the administration here to start seeing how we can work together. Recently we are also talking about how do we break our silos and start working much more intensely on a larger canvas. There are always possibilities of one university working with another university, one R&D lab in let's say NAM. You can talk about it, maybe IICT, CCMB, a variety of such labs are there in Hyderabad working with IIT. But can we spread this canvas much larger? So recently we have proposed something called a concept of a multiversity, and we are waiting for the Ministry of Education to see if this can be approved, and I have presented it in front of the Minister of Education, and this is under consideration. Where in a particular city, just look at Hyderabad. Hyderabad has so many institutions, which are central government institutions or state government institutions. We also have a number of R&D labs. There are CSIR labs, there are ICMR labs, there are ICAR labs, there are DRDO labs. And so there is a proximity advantage that we all have. Can we all pick up some grand challenge problems? For example, we have identified about 12 grand challenges. Clean water, air, okay, potable water. These are all real problems of the country. Can we pick up problems like this and see how together 5 or 6 universities or 5 or 6 institutions come together and work on? Pick up smaller problems within that bigger problem, and together we work on it so that this jigsaw is completed together by all of us. So this is a new concept that we are coming up with which government is also very keen on. They identify bigger cities where a larger number of institutions are there and work together to solve a much bigger problem. As an individual, I can only solve to a small extent, but together I'm sure we can solve much bigger problems. Okay, and this is a newer concept, that how do we extend the collaborations to a much wider network, and that's something which possibly, hopefully, it will happen very soon. And the government is also talking about giving what is called a glue grant, okay, to glue us together. So it's a very interesting concept that is coming up. So there is a possibility of such kind of grants that can come, where students can move across between the universities. Okay, PhD students, they will do one experiment at IIT Hyderabad, one experiment at your university, maybe another experiment in a lab or somewhere else. And all these are possible, okay, and we can have a joint PhD programs like that together. So there are enormous avenues, and the sky is not even the limit. I strongly believe in that. So let's work together, let's find out ways where we can break these silos and come together. And I strongly believe 1 + 1 can be significantly greater than 2 when people start working together. Okay, when there is a synergy between people, when you identify the right partners, and I'm sure there is a lot that we can contribute. Okay, and there is strength everywhere, and it is just important for all of us to bring these strengths together. So what I'm trying to tell, particularly the youngsters looking at sitting here, is there is a lot that you can contribute to this country in particular and to the world at large through finding out ways by which you can start working together as a joint programs. So we encourage a lot of joint programs at IIT Hyderabad, students coming together and putting up proposals. For example, we have started a number of what is called multidisciplinary master's programs. Okay, for example, we have an MTech, as I told you, medical device innovation, where a number of institutions, departments come together. We have an MTech in smart mobility, we have an MTech in energy, we have an MTech in what is called sensors. We have a number of such programs where various departments come together. We even have a new BTech program, possibly the first interdisciplinary BTech program in the whole country among all the IITs. That a BTech in computational engineering, we call it as. Last year we started it. Okay, this is not computer science, this is not Java, C++. We teach them solid mathematics, and we have civil engineering faculty, mechanical faculty, chemical faculty, materials faculty, biotech faculty. All of them teach courses here, where the student learns solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, materials modeling, biomodeling, and things like that, so that the student becomes useful for the manufacturing industry in a big way. Okay, they are being created for the manufacturing industry rather than for the software industry. So these are important. These are important, where you should find ideas by which you can come together. So the students work together, and we also have what are called interdisciplinary PhD program now, where 2 faculty from 2 different departments guide a student together. Okay, and we collect the projects like that and put it before the admission portal itself, so that when a student is applying, he knows what are the interdisciplinary projects that are available, and he chooses the choice of his or her out of those projects. And we have a separate committee, which is an interdisciplinary committee, which will interview them and to find out whether they are suitable for that interdisciplinary PhD program or not. Every year we are taking at least a minimum of 20 to 25 PhD students who are interdisciplinary PhD students now. So I strongly believe that it is time that the whole world, particularly people who are at least within a city like us, come together and find ways how we can work together and help the country to grow to much greater heights and ensure that the country becomes a leader and contributes a lot to the whole world. I think these are a few points I thought I should share with all of you. All the best to all the faculty and all the students in your journey to greater heights, and I wish you all the best in all your endeavors.